it's funny, but when you are around cars all day long, certain problems smell certain ways. Um, I can walk through a parking lot anywhere, and I can tell you what car's leaking antifreeze, even if there's nothing on the ground, because I know how it smells. I can tell you a lot of cars if the car's low in oil, because by pulling the dipstick and not even checking the oil, I can smell the engine getting hot internally because it has a very distinct smell, and that's something that a very experienced automotive technician is going to know. He's going to know what things look like, what they smell like, and how they sound. And the subtleties of an engine that's not running perfectly, a technician is going to be able just to stand next to the vehicle and listen to it, and he's going to have a pretty good idea of the performance of the vehicle and how it's running. And that's all gained from experience. That's why it's so important that the technicians that are working on your cars have lots of experience and lots of training and are certified in the area that they're repairing. It's not something that's, and those things are lost when you're at a quick lube having a 19, 20-year-old kid changing the oil in your $20,000 to $60,000 vehicle. It's just not something that should happen. The other thing that we want to point out on that stuff is when you have your oil change done, it's crucial that all the other fluids are inspected. We see vehicles that have power steering fluid leaks. I have a vehicle that was in here in the shop actually this morning with a brake light that was on. And he had his oil changed yesterday. It comes into the shop today for a brake inspection, and all it was the brake fluid was low. But the quick lube shop never even looked at the brake fluid, and it's just not part of a normal procedure for a quick lube to really go and look through your car and inspect your car and have the knowledge to tell you that, hey, my car is acting up, or your car is going to act up. It's running fine right now, but we see this potential problem. Because we have seen this car and we've worked on this model of car hundreds of times, we know when they break down, how they break down, and what's going to happen to them. And we can usually guess. We can take a brand new car and usually tell you for the first 150,000 miles what you're going to have to repair and when you're going to have to repair it. And the more that we see the car for regular services, the more ability that we're going to have to really nail it down for you. So you'll know 6 months ahead of time that you might be having an alternator that's going to go out. You'll know 3 months ahead of time that that you're going to need brakes. And you can do all of this quickly and efficiently with just a quick 45-minute visit to see us, to have your oil changed on, and to have your vehicle inspected.
Okay. Well, Blake, it sounds like you actually can sniff out problems literally, right?
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much
great.
so.
I can picture that. That sounds like a good cartoon to put on your website. So Blake, can you picture that one? So Blake,
I can.
Your shop is located. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think about times where I pull the dipstick on a car and I pull it up to my nose and to smell the dipstick, and then actually I have the tip of my nose burned from getting my nose too close to try to get an exact idea of what's going on with this car. So you have to be careful when you're doing that kind of stuff. Same with checking antifreeze. Early on in my career, I learned a valuable lesson about opening a radiator that's too hot. It got burnt pretty bad on my left hand from opening up a vehicle that wasn't ready to be opened up. But it learned some valuable tips over the years. Is to any time you're going to take a radiator cap off of your car, you always want to put your hand on the radiator hose and squeeze it. And if you can squeeze it and collapse the hose easily, then that means there's no pressure in the cooling system and it's okay to open the radiator cap. If you grab a hold of the hose and you squeeze it and it doesn't compress at all, then that's the indication that you do not want to open it.